Hi, Kaylee and Samantha. Here is your first video feedback to your first journal submission. I already read it and marked a few things that I want to talk to you about. Let's look at your most important sentence, the first sentence, also called the topic sentence. The events that happened during the Enlightenment movement led to two major changes in the popular music. Okay, I see that you have a grasp of what the topic sentence is supposed to do, and it kind of does that. But there are several problems here. First of all, if you're not telling me what the events that happened are, also, you know, that happened is just really on the verge of being too colloquial for this style of writing. And since you're not telling me what these events are, there it's kind of superfluous to say that. So why not just cut all of this and say the Enlightenment? And then during the movement sounds also a little strange. You know, it's either the Enlightenment. I mean, the Enlightenment was a movement. That's clear. So we actually don't even need to say that here, but just say the Enlightenment led to two major changes in the popular music. Now, popular music is a term that refers to a particular kind of music that has its origin somewhere in the 19th century and really means basically what we call pop music. So by definition, that wasn't really pop music in the 18th century. Okay, so we can't use that here because it just doesn't. This term doesn't exist in the 18th century. So why not just say led to two major changes in musical styles? I guess that's what you mean. The other thing is that you use, in order to say the major changes, you use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, and you're using a verb to lead that's just not, let's say, just not very strong or very specific. It's just like to be, to have, to go, to lead is maybe a little more specific, but it's one of those very surface level verbs that can be used in so many situations that it's just not, it doesn't make for a very sophisticated writing style. So how about you find a verb that's a little more sophisticated and say the Enlightenment impacted musical styles in two main ways, let's say. Something like that. Okay, you have a better verb. And the beginning, this is shortened and just more specific and is more punchy overall. And now you know, okay, you talk about the impact of the Enlightenment on those two ways. Now you said it impacted musical styles or popular music, you said, in two ways. The first was that people began to focus more on education. And this is where the first logical jump occurs, because you said you were going to talk about music here, and yet the first sentence that you're writing here is the first word, music, that people began to focus on education. And the reader is already confused because you just said you were going to talk about music, and yet you go on to talk about education, okay? So in order to maintain a logical red thread that leads through your paragraph, I know what you're trying to say, yet you're not really saying it. Okay, so I have to kind of read between the lines to get what you're trying to say. And this exercise is really an exercise in finding the specific and right words to just nail it. Okay, and this is also why I let it be so short, and it's not actually a lot of words that are being used here, but they need to be very selective ones and very specific ones. Okay. Then another thing that doesn't help the conciseness and let's say the coherence of your paragraph is that you start every other sentence, and sometimes even more than that, with this, 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 this. It's a lot of this, and I wonder if you can find better linking words that explain what the sentence is supposed to say. You could say here, as a result, attention was placed on education, for example, and not begin every sentence with or consequently, or whatever other linking word. It tells me, oh, so this sentence now tells me that this was a consequence of the former, and not just say this. The Holy Roman Empress created a law. I told you this story about me being in Austria, but at the time, Austria really didn't exist in the way it does now. So this is really in the Holy Roman Empire, not just Austria. This. More downtime makes for a shift towards entertainment. It's such a vague statement. Remember, in academic writing, it's mostly about stating who did what, when, how, and why. Okay? First of all, more downtime is just very colloquial and not appropriate for an academic text. Now, the downtime makes for a shift. Makes, to make, is yet another, very surface level verb. Instead, you could write something that the fact that larger groups of the middle class had more pastime at their disposal resulted in an increased interest in musical entertainment. Okay, you got rid of the verb make, and you told us more who did what, why, when, and how. Okay. And this, I'm just picking a few examples here. It's all over the place, but I just thought maybe it gets more clear if I give you an example here. Overall, though, I would really like you to avoid passive construction, such as music was changed, because referring again to the who did what, why, when, and how, the passive construction really sabotages that interest, because one of the main characteristics of the grammatical construction passive is that you don't have to name who. And in academic writing, we actually explicitly want to say who, because it's one of the questions that this is all about, okay? So avoid passive construction at any cost. Rather, rewrite the sentence in such a way that you tell me who did what, why, when, and how. Okay? If you have any questions about this, just let me know. Other than that, I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.